What's up, guys? I'm Crystal Lee Naomi, aka Jasmine Borders on Tyler Perry's Sisters. Be sure to subscribe to the Haves and the Have-Nots review for not only reviews on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but also on Sisters. And while you're at it, give your girl a follow on Instagram at Crystal Lee Naomi. And I'll see you every Wednesday at 9, only on BET.
All right, Sisters fans, we are back. Sorry, look, I tweeted about this and I put it on my Instagram stories. It was coming down last night. It was pouring down rain from like 8:30 to like 11 o'clock. Then snow came and it's kind of melting away now. Roads are safe. I'm not going out. So basically, whenever there's bad weather, it kind of messes with my Wi-Fi. So my cable wasn't working, so I couldn't watch Sisters live nor do the live stream like I planned. My bad. But I did watch the episode this morning after I finished Ruthless. This was a pretty good episode. Episode 13 of Season 2, entitled Let It Be. Sabrina and Danny fearfully remember how hard... Wait a minute, this wasn't in the episode. Okay, Sabrina and Danny fearfully remember how hard it was to get Andy away from her abusive boyfriend in college. Fatima learns that Hayden has been threatening Zach. Karen confronts Zach while Zach is working at the airport. So, before going further in the video, please take a moment to hit like, hit subscribe, click the bell notification icon and, select all. That way you are notified whenever I post content to the channel. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. What would I score this episode? Let me double check my notes real quick. 9 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. There were a couple reasons why it's not a 10 out of 10, but they're kind of minuscule reasons. But here we go. We pretty much pick up where we left off, and it's hard to believe that it's been over a month since the last episode. Wow. But, Andy is, crying as Aaron and Gary leave the bank. And remember, this is early in the morning now. So it's kind of frustrating because Danny is pretty much pushed out by Sabrina and Karen because she is being real. Like, trust him, Lee, there have been times... Had to cut off my light. It was getting in my eyes. There have been times where Danny, they call out like, you're not the best at saying the right thing when it needs to be said. But Danny was telling the truth. If nothing else, she was just saying, look, Andy, please remember your self-worth. Somebody who treated you the way Gary did doesn't deserve you. And all Karen and Sabrina are doing is like, girl, stop. No, it's like, Andy, you're going to be good. It's like, she don't need to hear that soft shit. She needs to be hearing real talk. My gosh. Danny ought to be the star of the show. Sheesh. Alright, so they all agree to have dinner at Karen's house later that night. I'm sorry if I just breezed by the scene, but it was just frustrating because Danny was legitimately trying to tell Andy what she needed to hear, not this soft shit. Oh, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. No, Andy, know your self-worth. I didn't see a problem with what was being said. If you watched that scene and you had a different perspective than me, please let me know in the comments because, yeah, it seemed like Danny was going on one of those tangents. Girl, something ain't right about this money. But she just said, know your self-worth. I don't see the problem with that. All right. So we go over to the law firm where Hayden, goes into Fatima's new office and apparently he's like, hey, I know this isn't my usual thing and we shouldn't be talking about this here, but I went by the houses last night to pick up the receipts and yeah, she pretty much puts 2 and 2 together and like, wait, what houses did you go to yesterday? New ones? Yeah, I went to the new ones last night, pretty much hinting at the whole I went to see your boy. And he pretty much is commanding like, hey, let's start over. I'm the one for you. Get out of here. Okay. So Fatima puts it together that he went to see Zach, and that's why Zach was acting all weird. So she calls Zach and asked if Hayden had stopped by to talk to him, and she knows he talked to him, and then she wants to know why Zach was acting the way he did. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really agree with how Zach handled that situation a few episodes ago, but I am glad that he's trying to move on with life. Like, look, I don't want to cause any problems. I can't afford to be kicked out of this program. if you and him have a thing, then hey, do your thing, but I just can't be involved within this. And Fatima guarantees, like, look, I'm not going to start any trouble. I'm going to make sure you don't get kicked out of the program. But he's the kind of guy who, no matter who I talk to, he's going to try to, you know, strong arm somebody. So I'll handle him. So after you finish work at the airport and the house, come on by my place to get some rest. It was a cute scene, and I just like the fact that we're seeing Zach really trying to move forward. I really like that. All right, so let's see. Andy walks into her office, and Andy stops by Fatima's office real quick to say, hey, can you swing by my office to talk with me? She goes to her office, and I believe it's Miss Irene, right? Paris's mother is there cleaning. Andy's like, oh, wait, I thought you all cleaned at night. It's like, oh, yeah, they want us to clean in the morning. There's a bug going around. I'm like, Rona. No, honestly, that's not what was mentioned, but I just thought it was a good little, you know, oh, yeah, clean the place so no spreading germs. But I thought that was a cool nod. If it was Rona related, I thought it was pretty funny. All right, so basically Miss Irene notices that Andy's sad about something and also knows about Paris being in that fight because they live together and, you know, she had to patch him up. And basically Andy was just, you know, being short with her, and she was honestly trying to give her good advice. Like, you know, are you okay? I can tell you're sad. Something's going on. It's like, are you in love? Maybe. Have you ever been? Plenty of times. So what did you do? I just realized love is nice, but it's not something I need. At least not the kind of love that, you know, you're going through. And then she leaves. I'm like, there you go, Miss Irene. There you go. All right, so then we have Pam telling Karen about the Zach Taylor charges to her credit card, equaling $5,900, essentially $6,000. And she calls Zach, but he ignores the phone call. Danny still thinks Zach is doing something illegal in regards to, you know, him doing late hours and, you know, the new truck and everything. So Zach is like, nope, I ain't doing nothing crazy. And also, your girl keeps calling me, but look, I want to show you I moved on. He blocks the number right in front of her. And he talks about growth, and like this new girl, Fatima, is making him feel good because unlike Danny and Karen, Fatima talks to him, not at him, builds him up instead of talking him down. I like this. This Zach. I like this new Zach. Like I said time and time again, if Tyler did not make it so Zach broke into that damn hotel room, he would easily be the best character of season 2. All right, so it turns out that Danny wants him and Zach and Karen to get back together because of a bet. And apparently these two have gotten back together about 17 times. So she wants to bet yet another $100 that they'll get back together. But Zach is like, nope, I've moved on. Clearly she has too, and I'm ready to go. So we go over to Karen being mad about the fact that Zach isn't answering the phone. And Pam is like, okay, I know you two have a history, but I don't even think this is something Zach would do. And then Pam's new boo stops by briefly, and then that's the end of that. And Karen looks hella cute in this episode. I don't like her attitude, but she looked fine. All right, so we go over to Maurice and Jacoby. I know I probably say this dude's name wrong, but he's the new teller at the bank. And he's trying to get Maurice's help with something, and Maurice isn't, you know, being nice. And he just asks her, why are you so mean to me? And he's like, why don't you just go see Sabrina for this question? It's like, well, I think she's trying to avoid me because I think that she likes me. So what makes you so sure? Well, I can tell when a woman likes me, can't you? And then Maurice tells him, no, I'm gay. And it's like, oh, well, I thought, you know, a big dude like you played football or something. I didn't know you were gay. And he's like, oh, so you're just like Alonzo's like, no. It's like, you know, just not in my field. I didn't know men, you know, there were gay people. Like, but there are gay people everywhere. To be fair on both sides, it's like, there are a lot of things going on, and I'm not trying to be preachy here. It's like there are so many different orientations and whatnot, and it's honestly not. Well, then again, as a person who stays at home all the time, I know things have changed, but it's like from my hometown, honestly, like there are just so many different terminologies and you know, certain pronouns that people like to be called by. So like if, let's say, somebody from the alphabet community were to come to, like, you know, around the older generation, they wouldn't know what the hell is going on. So yeah, I understand, like, there are gay people everywhere, but that doesn't mean they're everywhere. And even if they are, that doesn't mean they're, you know, flamboyant about it. So in a way, I can see why Jacoby's like, oh, I didn't know you were gay, Maurice, my bad. Not to mention, can you really blame him? Because Maurice really hasn't held a conversation with him, so he doesn't really know him that well. So there you go. But in any case, he tries to go to Sabrina for help, and then that's the end of that. But Calvin comes in, and this is going on as he's in the office with Sabrina, who is saying, wait, I showed you twice already. It's like, I'm just curious why you want to see me about it. And to be fair, he's like, well, I tried to ask Maurice, but he wouldn't help me. And, you know, so she shows him. Calvin comes in, brings back the room key. Maurice notices that he was using his perfume and tells him not to touch his stuff. Calvin sees those two in the office, and he obviously is jealous. Next page of notes. So we go over to the airport where Karen goes in to see Danny, and she wants to see Zach. And, oh, sorry, page blew over. So Danny calls Zach, and they get the plane number where he's at. So he's doing his job. And this is a sad scene. It really is. So Karen and Danny get on the plane, and she goes in on Zach about the credit card. He has no idea what she's talking about. She threatens to call the police unless she gets the money. And it's like, look, what you did to me, all the $1,000 I spent on you over the years, like all the money I spent over the years, and then you charge up, you do this to me. There's like no amount of stabbing that you could save me from that could equal that. And I wish I never met you. It's like, you know what? I should have let you die. So basically from there, she's like, all the stuff that you left in my closet, yeah, after we're done, I left it in a box on the street. And this is apparently the things that Zach's grandfather gave him. And those are the only items that Zach has of his grandfather. So he starts tearing up. And then, yeah, he gets slapped and he walks off the plane and goes off on Danny's like, oh yeah, thank you for bringing her here. Well, F you too for bringing her here, and I'm trying to do my job. And Danny tells Karen, like, look, I know you're upset, but before you call the police and everything, make sure you know that Zach did it. And she goes also, when you ever going to be on my side? Well, I am on your side. This was a good scene. It's like, I don't like the circumstances, but the acting in this scene was very good. I really like this scene. All right, so Andy is ignoring phone calls because she's trying to focus at work and her phone is blowing up. Fatima comes in and is like, look, there have been like 17 missed calls from Gary. He's been calling like every few minutes. And Andy asks for Fatima's opinion on the situation. It's like, wait, are you asking me as a boss? Are you asking me as a friend? Am I able to speak freely? And basically, Fatima holds no punches. You need to get this shit straightened out because everything that's going on, this ain't a good look. From the situation going on in the office, the side-eyeing everybody's doing to you, the situation with his wife, this ain't right. You are better than this situation you're in. Leave Gary be. I mean, like the title of the episode, let it be. And apparently Andy's like, she asked the question, so have you ever been in love? And Fatima says, I was in love once. But it didn't work out because he told me he was getting married 3 weeks before he got married. Apparently, they got together not too long after he and his ex had broken up. And she opened up and gave him her heart and she got crushed. So that explains why she is the way she is. And I like the line that she used, like, it's hard to fight history. So it's hard for, like, somebody who's already committed to someone else to be everything you need because they, again, it's hard to fight history. That was a good statement. So Andy's like, oh, I get it. So due to that experience, that explains why you avoid commitment. And then Andy's like, well, I don't want to be like you. And I'm like, I understand what she means, but it's like, to be fair, I think Fatima, you know, her cavalier attitude or free agent style of dating is a lot better than being involved with someone who's married. So it's it's hard to tell if Andy was like saying, ew, I don't want to be like you. As in, if Fatima's lifestyle and way of living is worse than Andy, who's involved with someone who is married. Like, I mean, as we know so far, Hayden seems to be the only toxic dude that she's been involved with, except for that one dude who was apparently a crackhead that robbed her, which Danny said she dated the same dude. I don't think, yeah, this is just a prime example of Andy needing to get the freak off her high horse. So this was a good scene, but here's the part that got me. Gary, it's like, you know how it is. It's like Gary's everything. It's like Gary's the one man who's everything I need. He's loving, kind, sweet. Bitch, he tried to kill you. What? Fatima shuts that down real quick. I love how Fatima's like swooped in like, no. He showed you a facade. That isn't the real him. And then she says Zach without saying Zach. Well, I will admit there is this one guy who's kind of shaking my foundation of my thought process. So basically, Zach seems to be this one dude who's challenging her lifestyle of freelance dating. And I mean, if things work out, Zach could be the one. So Andy, to me, it's like, once again, you get solid advice. I don't see how what Fatima said was any different than what Danny was saying to you at the beginning of the freaking episode. The only difference is you didn't have Karen and Sabrina there to coddle you when you needed to hear real shit. Fatima was on point. Andy, I don't know what to say. I will admit though, kudos to her ignoring those phone calls, but let's be real here. She's going to eventually cave. All right, so what else we got here? We get to the final scene. So Danny calls Sabrina, tells her about the whole situation between Karen and Zach. And, you know, I am suspicious about the money, like, you know, his new truck and everything. And we'll talk about it later tonight at dinner. And remember, the dinner is going to take place at Karen's house. Then we get the two brothers, Preston's brothers, who confront Danny, call her all sorts of names, and basically saying, if we ever catch you around our brother again, it's going to be HE double hockey sticks to pay. And that's the end of the episode. This was a great episode, guys. This was a great return to form. It feels like Sistas never left. We picked up where we left off. Yeah, this is good stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with my score? A lot of people were telling me, well, Jeremy, yeah, the episode started off boring. It got good towards the end, though. I enjoyed this episode all the way through. I thought this was a very well-paced episode. But like I said, if you agree, disagree, let's talk about it below in the comments. And if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month.